What's up, guys? I'm coming back at you the day after my horrendous mistake. So I got everything back in, hooked up. We're back to where we were. Trans back is all done. Starter's back in. Clutch works, shifter works, all is well. So now we get to the fun part. I don't know fun part, but we're gonna get all the front end accessories on. I gotta put the harmonic balancer on, alternator, power steering, all the pulleys, belts. And then from there, I think I'm going to try and see what I can do with the power steering line, see if I can keep the existing ones or if I have to change some stuff. Try to get that hooked up because that's the only thing I'm unsure of right now. And then I believe we are ready to actually lay in the engine harness and hook everything up, and then manifold, fuel rail, and I think we're gonna be ready for our first startup. If I can do that all today, that'd be nice, but I'm pretty beat up and worn down from the adventures of yesterday, so I didn't even really want to work on this thing today, but so I'm confused. So I just had my stock power steering lines and they bolted right up to the pump and I didn't even need to like manipulate them. So I got the front accessories on, well at least, you know, the front pulley, the water pump pulley, and then the power steering pump, and I lined it up and the lines go exactly to where they needed to be. I had to twist this, and then this one I just had to move it, you know, put a little bit of a push this way to get it to bolt up, but I mean, no kinks, no weird bends. We got the line from the reservoir going into the bottom of the pump, which I believe is what's supposed to happen, and then we got from the rack to the top of the pump. Now they bolt right up. I'm using the banjo bolts from the M50. They fit right through these power steering lines, so I'd imagine this is exactly how it is on the M20 as well. I checked my E34 to make sure, and it does seem that the reservoir does go to the lower port and that the higher port goes to the box, or the rack in this case. So I don't think there's anything wrong here. I don't think anything could be wrong with this. But from what I've heard, everyone makes it sound like it's a big deal, power steering lines, but they bolted right up. So I mean, I don't know if I'm just lucky and it's just this model with this pump, but yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything that could have gone wrong here. So I'll research, make sure. But yeah, I'm super stoked because that was the only thing I wasn't sure about. And if I just did it, then I did it, and I'm super happy now. So now all I gotta do is put on the alternator, put on this idler. I got a brand new one. And then I think I'm gonna lay the wiring harness in because I don't see what else. I'll put the belt on. And then I believe it's time for a wiring harness because I got this taken care of. I gotta get this coolant hooked up. Oh yeah, I'm putting in the heater valve lines, and then I gotta hook this up to the reservoir. And then boom, that's done. I got the throttle cable ready to go in. The only thing then is when the manifold is on is I gotta find an adapter to get the booster hose into the manifold, but that's not a big deal. Got the alternator on, hooked up, heater valve lines hooked up, and now I'm gonna put the belt on. And the new tensioner I got is, of course, a T45. So luckily I went and grabbed this. It might even be a T50, but this will do. So luckily I had this, or else I wouldn't be able to do that either. I don't know why BMW keeps changing all their freaking things that have been the same forever. But yeah, this will wrap up the front end accessories. I'm gonna leave the fan off, leave the radiator out, obviously. And then I'm gonna lay this harness in here and then put the manifold on, and we're getting really close. I'm super excited. Belt is on. I actually had to go look over at the E34 because I could not for the life of me figure out how to get this on. With this new tensioner, the roller was hitting this one, and I've never seen that before. And the belt, it made the belt seem like it was way too long, and I realized I had the routing wrong. You go under this, around the water pump, back around this one, and then that way. I was going straight from here to here. I could swear my Calypso's not like that, but nonetheless, got it figured out. Belt is on. We have accessories. Now I think I'm gonna lay the harness in. I don't know. I feel like there's other things I have to do, but I mean, I guess not. I mean, I guess we're just about there. All right, so I got the harness laid, all the sensors hooked up. Obviously not all this stuff, and I don't have the harness adapter in, but now I believe it's time to throw the manifold on. So it's kind of a big mess back there. I'm hoping that, you know, things are kind of not getting in the way of the manifold and the booster. But I'm gonna do all the manifold gaskets, so you gotta get the 6 runners. I'm gonna do the throttle body gasket because I have one. And then I'm gonna block off the heater lines on the throttle body, meaning I'm just gonna cut the one and connect it so nothing can get in there. That's it. So I'm gonna go do those gaskets real quick, and then we're ready to put the manifold on. All right, so I got the manifold ready to go back in. I got another ICV here with the new hoses hooked up because this old one was kind of seized. It doesn't even make noise. So good thing I replaced that. New FPR vacuum line, throttle body, gasket is on. Looped the cooler line. Now I just gotta pop the individual gaskets in, and then I actually have to run to the store. I gotta get vacuum caps because I'm not gonna be running the PCV stuff anymore. So I gotta block this off and then block off the other one that comes out of the valve cover. But I got the harness laid in here. I got the ECU and all that stuff. I got it pushed into the chassis. I got the power hooked up. So there's 2 grounds on the E34 that are not on the E36 harness that couldn't reach to this grounding point. So I ground down the metal there and self-tapped them right into the chassis right here. So that should be good enough. So this is all set up. Then I just got to hook up the ECU and put the mani on. And I think we're going to start it pretty soon. To be honest, guys, I'm super excited. So I got to get those vacuum caps. I actually have to get an adapter to run this a little longer. And I think that's it. Everything is routed under here. All I have left is the things that are connected to the manifold to plug in. All right, after doing a lot of stuff here, I have everything hooked up and we're ready to put oil in it. So I mentioned how the power steering worked perfectly fine. Stupid me, forgot about this big intake boot, and the power steering reservoir was mounted right here, which didn't work. So I had to take matters in my own hands. I shortened the lines and moved it down. Right now it's currently just being held with a zip tie. Until I can get some sort of bracket made or something good. But I think that's a perfect spot because you could actually get to it right in between the elbow, and it's out of the way of everything else, and I can still use the lines. There's no kinks or anything like that. I just shortened them a little bit. To be honest, the line was kind of kinked. The back one was kinked when it was in the factory location, so this will probably be better. But I actually really do like this spot, so I'll probably keep it here and get a better bracket made. But from what I can see, everything's good. And I got the boot on. I got to put the MAF in and then put some oil in it. I'll probably put power steering in it so I don't ruin the pump, and maybe a little bit of coolant. But I got to hook up the ECU. But I think we're ready to fire this thing up. I'm so nervous, but so excited. So I will see you guys in a minute. All right, it's all hooked up. It's got oil in it. The ECU is in. I'm extremely nervous right now, but let's give her a shot. It's gonna sound really bad with no exhaust, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So, in neutral, key, ignition, let's see. Cranks, that's a good sign. So it's gonna have to get fuel. So I'd imagine it's gonna take a little bit. Oh, she's starting. It's starting to come alive. It sounds real goofy though. Let's give it another shot. now. I think the battery is still dead. I'm gonna have to get a jump box. All right, we got a jump box hooked up. We got the garage door open. Let's try it again. God, I am so nervous. Oh. All right, she's struggling, but she is starting, so. But she's running. All right, well, she runs, not very happily. I think that has a lot to do with the no exhaust. I think that's making it sound really bad, but it's all smoky in here now. I don't know, it's kind of hard to troubleshoot right now, to be honest with you. With the exhaust like that, it's hard to tell if it's just unhappy from not running for so long or what. But I don't see any fuel leaking. I don't see any oil leaking. I don't see any fluids leaking, which is a good sign. So I might try it again, and then with the doors open and see. I don't want to mess something up, but I mean, shouldn't have any vacuum leaks or anything. It should be pretty solid. So I'm thinking it should run better than it is. All right, I unplugged and replugged in the TPS and the MAF. I started with no TPS and it revved like crazy. So seems it's doing something. I'm gonna rip it again now that everything's back and see what happens. It's running like it has no... That's kind of weird. It's running now, it sounds like it's on all six, but it's kind of running like it's got a bad vacuum leak. But it's really hard with no exhaust. It's really hard to work on it. But it sounds like it's running pretty good. We have a running M50 E30. I am so stoked right now. There's a lot of stuff that could have gone wrong or not been hooked up right on the first start in the new chassis, but it started and it runs on all six. It surges idle, which is weird, so it kind of goes, which could be part of an adaptation thing. I've been through that a lot with my other E34, so honestly, I think it just needs runtime, but it's hard to give it runtime with no exhaust. It is excruciatingly loud. I can't even, like, my ears hurt from it. So I think what I'm gonna do is get the cooling system buttoned up, get everything else buttoned up, and get on the ground and I think bring it and go get the exhaust. Hopefully Zach has time for me. We can go get the exhaust made. Because I really don't want to even like try to figure stuff out or work on it until it has an exhaust, because right now it's just really hard to deal with. But yeah, so more videos to come, ironing things out, getting the exhaust made, blah blah blah. But in terms of running, I think I have it hooked up for the most part right. I'll look over all my stuff tomorrow with a fresh mind, but I think everything's in there. I think everything's hooked up right. You know, the motor ran in the E34 just fine. Nothing really changed. I did change out all the injectors, but I don't think that's a problem. So everything should be in working order. I think it's a matter of just adapting to the new, you know, the harness adapter, the chassis. Whenever a car and ECU is disconnected for a while, it has to readapt. So I think that's kind of what it has to go through. So there'll be some stuff that I gotta iron out, but I'm so proud of myself and just so excited right now. Like, I'm gonna sleep so good tonight. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the support. I got merch coming out soon. Actually, probably by the time this video drops, it'll probably already be out, but we'll see. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video.